I'm Edward Watts. Welcome to the Running Bama YouTube channel. I missed a video last week. I ended up getting really sick. Maybe like a 4 or 5 out of 10 as far as how sick I was. However, it was the chest congestion. I don't know what you call it. Maybe liquid in my chest. I mean, that's kind of gross to say, but I had some chest stuff going on, and with breathing, the aftermath of how I was sick, even though I was able to kick the fever pretty quickly, I still felt like the consequences of being sick. And then going into Mother's Day weekend, I had a really busy week at work. So I didn't run a lot of miles last week. And I was discouraged about it at first. I was going to try to push through it. I even started shooting a video last week of pushing through illness until it really got to me. But anyways, I'm moving on. I'm moving forward. I've been doing specific training for this race, the Cotton Road Run, which we are 2 weeks out from today as I'm shooting this. This is Monday. I've been doing about 14 weeks of total training for this thing, so I've gotten in shape. So having a bad week of training where I only ran 15 miles, where I should have ran 40 miles last week, that's what my self-imposed training plan called for. I really only ran 15 miles last week. I did quite a bit of walking, but that's not great, honestly. Just being realistic with y'all, it's not great, but I'm okay with that. This race was really supposed to be a building block onto a half marathon training block, which is going to be a building block onto a marathon training block. I was really using this race to try to get myself used to running, used to getting into shape, used to running good weekly mileage and being consistent. And I've succeeded in that effort. Really, no matter how this race goes, and I've had to change my goals on this race a couple times. So I'm really at this point just trying to run sub 50 minutes on the 10K, which it's a challenging 10K. It's not an easy one. It's not flat by any means. There's a huge hill in the middle of it. But just breaking 50 at this point would be good for me. I'm, really backing off the gas on these final 2 weeks of training. So I'm going to push forward and really try to continue my aerobic base, and then after this race reevaluate my goals and how I'm going to train, and really start tacking on some weekly mileage, try to get up to the 50 miles a week range and build some aerobic base. Maybe start running up Montesano Mountain here in Huntsville. I live at the bottom of it, so I may work a run up there, to help me build some of my leg strength, maybe to help me work on speed. I know I'm not training for a mountain race or a trail race, but I think that'll help me. But that's where I'm at. I may do another check-in before I post this video this week, but it's discouraging. I don't want to lie to you. I am discouraged about how this training block went. Disappointed in myself, but it's the reality I deal with. This is one of the reasons I fell off from running in the first place. Is I have 2 children, 2 young kids. They go to daycare and kindergarten. They're going to get you sick. You're going to get stuff from them. And I 100% got this from them, because the week before last, they were both sick. And then my wife got sick, and then I got sick. That's how this stuff happens. And then I'm going to have busy work weeks and things like that. And there's other holidays mixed in there. We're going to have to deal with Memorial Day and 4th of July and Labor Day, through the summer training. So, and then vacations and things like that. So, I'm not going to say I'm not disappointed, because I am, but I am pushing forward. The whole sentiment behind me running and getting back into running is because I'm doing this for fun, but I'm also taking it seriously. I'm taking my goals seriously. So I'll see y'all a little later on in the week. All right, it is Tuesday. No, it's Wednesday. Sorry, way off. It is Wednesday, and I am finished with work, and I'm about to go pick up my kids, but I'm going to sneak in a 3-mile run. I'm going to try to do a warm-up mile and then 2 miles at race pace. Try to just get my legs back and my lungs back to where I want them to be after being sick last week. I did 4 miles on Monday, 3 miles yesterday on the treadmill last night, 4 miles this morning, but all at easy pace, a very easy pace, but I'm going to try to speed things up right now. I'm feeling a whole lot better. I do feel a little bit discouraged about my race plan, but that's just how things go. So I'm going to get into this run. I'll see y'all when I'm done. I'm back, got the workout done. That was tough but short, and I know it just seems kind of lame that I'm doing a short workout, 3 miles, but I am training for a 10K, not a marathon, and I am compounding this fitness into marathon fitness later on in the year. But I got to get this 10K done first because I really am trying to build this aerobic base. Really, the whole year I'm going to be building an aerobic base of running a lot of slow miles and then short, fast workouts. And then as the year goes on, those workouts will get longer. But the idea today, since I was sick last week and I'm honestly still recovering a little bit this week, and I started to feel it in my lungs during this workout. I almost needed my inhaler. I didn't bring it with me. It's at home, but the idea with this workout was, let's see if I can do race pace and what race pace is now that I'm like, 11 or so days out from the race. Not 11, maybe like 12 or 13, 12 days out from the race, honestly, if you count them. So what is my race pace going to be? And I think it's going to be around a 7:45. I just ran 3 miles. I ran a warm-up mile, which was like 8:45-ish. I ran 2 miles consecutively at what I thought I could hold for a 10K. And this just being at the end of a work day, so it's not like first thing in the morning. Let's change this angel action we got going here. I don't know. Maybe it looks good. Well, so what could I hold for that 10K, or what did I think I could hold for that? The first mile of that 2 mile set, it was like a 7:34, and then the second mile 7:39. So I think I can hold a 7:40 for this 10K minus 1 mile, which if you're familiar with the Cotton Row Run 10K part of the race, there is a like 45-degree angle. It's on Mountain Wood, the street. And it just goes up, and then you have to like crisscross back, and it goes up not quite as steep, and then you're going up the side of a mountain at, maybe like a 7% grade. For all this takes about half a mile, and then you go down into a neighborhood, and then you finish downtown in Huntsville. But that's a tough hill. I'm planning on walking it. In past Cotton Row runs, I have run it, but I was in better shape, and I'm not in as quite of good shape this time around. But hey, this time next year I could be sprinting up that hill. I used to run hill repeats on that hill. I used to do like I would do up and down 3 times, and then I would do that 5 times over. It was a good workout. It got me in good like trail running shape. So that's kind of my plan. I feel pretty confident in holding a 7:40. Let's just tack on 1 extra minute for that hill I'm gonna have to walk up, maybe even a minute and a half. So I think maybe around 48-minute 10K. And then let's give myself some credit on race day adrenaline and hype. There's a lot of people show up for this race to cheer it on. Maybe take off a minute, maybe 47 minutes. I think 47 minutes. Originally my goal was like PR 42 minutes, and then as my training went on, I saw that wasn't going to be possible or not likely. And then I changed my goal to 45 minutes. But then after missing a week of training last week, I think realistically 47 minutes. If I can run faster than 48 minutes in the 47-minute range, I'll be happy with that. And of course, I'm using this as compounding fitness on into the next race, which will be a half marathon, then a marathon. So I'll see y'all a little bit later in the week. All right, here's a change of scenery for you. This is the Thursday check-in. I did a 4-mile threshold run this morning. It shouldn't have been a threshold. I kind of took it a little harder than I would have wanted to, but I was kind of strapped for time. Like in the morning, I'm getting ready. I've got to get my kids ready for school. I've got to get to work on time. So I took that run a little harder than I should have. And then this afternoon, I'm about to go on a 3-mile run before I go pick up my kids. We're going to go to a farmer's market tonight. So I'm really trying to take this run easy because, the whole purpose of my training, and I need to stick to a plan, is making my easy runs 80% of my runs, 80% of my miles should be easy. And that's really like below 140 heart rate for me. And then the rest of my runs should be speed workouts or, intentional training. And those should be hard. I should make those very hard. The whole point of that is being hard. But 80% of the time, I'm really just building an aerobic fitness base. So that's what I'm doing this afternoon. I'm doing 3 miles easy. I would do a little bit more, but, we got plans this afternoon. So that's what I'm doing. And then, on that subject a little bit, I talked about heart rate for a second there. I just wear a Garmin watch. This heart rate is wildly inaccurate. Probably not wildly inaccurate, but it is inaccurate. So once I get done with this 10K, and then I get a little bit more intentional and focused on my training for the half marathon, and then hopefully very dialed in for the marathon, I'm considering getting some sort of heart rate monitor that pairs with this watch so that I can really know what an easy run is, what a threshold run is, what a hard zone 5 training run is, so that I can have more accurate data to judge those things. Anyways, I'm about to go get this run done. All right, Saturday check-in. I just ran my 4 miles on this treadmill. I did the same thing yesterday morning on Friday. I believe that puts me at 29 miles so far this week, which is good. Running on the treadmill this morning, I actually had a chance to get up. Saturday is my wife's long run day, and then Sunday is my long run day. But she doesn't, on Saturdays, we don't have to go to work, so she doesn't start hers till like 7 a.m. So normally I could get up and knock out a couple miles outside, but woke up this morning, made coffee, and it takes 10 minutes to brew coffee or whatever. Sat on the couch and then woke back up. It was 7 a.m. already, so I kind of missed the boat on that. But while she's running, still get on the treadmill. Ignore what the total says on this treadmill. I started and stopped this thing 8 times because my children are awake. So had to get up off the treadmill several times to resolve issues. We'll just say resolve issues. Feed them breakfast and whatnot and get them dressed. But that's it for today. Tomorrow, I plan on running. I'll probably go on a walk this afternoon with the kids, maybe pushing a stroller or the push car or something. So I don't really count those as miles, even though it could turn into a jog. But the plan for tomorrow is probably run 9 miles. Maybe go run the Cotton Row course. It'd be nice to just go get that on my legs one more time before the race. Probably the last time I run it before the race. And my race day plan is, run walking to the start-finish line. I'm about 1.5 miles from the start-finish line, run the race, and then my wife will meet me there. So she's going to run the 5K, and then my son will run the 1 mile after that. So, I like to practice, like just doing my warm-up mile to the course, running the course. I'm still going to run it at an easy pace tomorrow. I might try to include like 1 or 2 miles, quick miles in there, but that's the plan tomorrow. So I'll see y'all then. It's been a good week. Starting off the week, like still sick and everything, and ending up at 29 miles on Saturday, hopefully to hit in the high 30s. By tomorrow, that's a win, and I got some quick miles this week, so I'm happy with that. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday. I am on my long run. Said yesterday I'd probably do 9 miles. Probably gonna end up being 8. I did another 2.25 yesterday, pushing a jogging stroller. So I don't really want to go over 40 this week. So it'll just be right under 40 if I do 8, because I'm at 31. Doing 8 puts me at 39. It's a good training week. Doing a little bit of a dress rehearsal for the race itself. One thing, I follow a lot of pro triathletes, and there's one, his name's Lionel Sanders. And his training, he never gets up early in the morning. He sleeps in every day. He talks about it all the time. But, when it comes race week or race day or whatever, he's not ready to be up early and exercising early. And it's crazy to me because it's well, you're a professional, just get up early and get it done, get your training done. But he just likes to sleep in. So races sometimes, I think that affects him. So I think it's good to have your rehearsal and actually train for it. What you're gonna do the morning of, what you're gonna eat, the time of day it is. And then get your body used to getting up and doing that routine and getting your workout in, so that you're ready for your race. I feel ready for this race. I am wearing a pack right now. This was a mistake because it's, almost 70 degrees outside already. But got a couple bottles of Gatorade in here. Got some gels, got my phone, got my keys. But I think for the summer, I'm gonna get a handheld water bottle, like one of the Nathan ones where you can stick a couple of gels in there. I think that would have been better for today. I think that's actually what I might use for the race, because I am going to start from my house and like walk there to the race start. So it'll give me something to sip on, you know, some carbs and some electrolytes to sip on before the race. That way I can do a gel right before and then have something on the course. I can refill it and whatnot as needed. But anyways, getting this, and also my shoes, the Nike Zoom Fly 6s is what I'm gonna wear for the race. It has a plate in it. I haven't run in these a whole lot. I've done a couple of speed workouts in them, so I am doing like a full 8-mile run in them this morning. It's got a plate, you know, got like the special cushion and all that. These are good shoes. I like them. I feel like it makes me faster. So these will be my race day shoes. Will I use these for the half marathon? I'm not sure if I still have life left in them by then. You know, I know the Alpha Fly would be the next step up on these, and there's also some other ones. I think it's the Saucony Endorphin Speed or something like that. I'll have to look it up, but there's several other race shoes from different brands that have plates in them that people like a whole lot, that may be more my speed versus like an Alpha Fly, because an Alpha Fly almost seems kind of extreme for me, but going for speed. So anyways, thank you all for following along this week. I know it was a longer video. I will be doing a race week, you know, carb build or whatever, carb load or race week or something next week. And then of course I will be doing a race day video, maybe one or two, if my wife lets me film her for her race, or my son. So thank you for watching. I'll see y'all next week.